I'm here
Hi,
with,
how are you?
I'm doing great. I'm here kind of with, I'd say, a huge player in the entire global skincare community. I don't know if you would consider yourself such, but Joseph Cabasso, president of Mario Badescu, that's huge.
Yes, yes. I hate to say we're a huge player. We're just really, I'm an average Joe and, a family guy, and it is a family business, and I could definitely get you through the whole history of the business. And it's still, we like to hold ourselves as a family business. People think like, oh, we're this big conglomerate, but we're not. We're just really regular people, like family people here.
Which is pretty rare for a business that has such a familiar name. Like you guys are, without question, a very well-known brand. To be that and a family business is quite a feat today, I feel like.
Yes, yes, it definitely is. I hear that a lot.
So, I mean, you guys have been, has it been over 50 years? You guys have been a studio in New York City?
So 1967 was when Mario Badescu started the business. I could give you a little history of about
Yeah,
the business if you
absolutely.
would
I
like.
mean, yeah, bring us from let's with the history of the business and how that kind of brings us into what we know of the skincare brand today.
Okay, perfect. So there was a person, Mario Badescu. He immigrated here in the early 60s from Romania. He was a licensed esthetician and a chemist. So he knew, how to work on people's faces and, you know, make products. He moved here, like I said, in the early 60s. I believe he worked for a different skincare company for a few years, and he opened up this little small studio, actually, where we are on 52nd, where our salon is on 52nd. He lived upstairs and he started making the products in his kitchen sink. And he had, I think, a two-bedroom apartment upstairs. And I guess one room he gave facials, and in the kitchen he started creating products, and some products are still in the line today. Um, and so he continued that in the early 70s. He took a little bigger place downstairs where we are today, and hired another person, and he got this like cult following from like Upper East Side people. And then, word of mouth spread, and, celebrities, old time celebrities started, coming in, and, they swore by him, they swore by his products. And, um, he built a great clientele, 70s, 80s, and he took more rooms, hired more people, and he became this very, popular person in the skincare world. We did not, at the time, he wasn't selling any retailers. It was just the salon that we had on 52nd Street. Unfortunately, he passed away in 1983. He passed away young. Um, he left the business to his family, which his family really didn't know anything and really didn't want to have anything to do with the business. And luckily, it fell into my father's lap. They were selling the business, the family, and some lawyer approached my father that was dealing with the estate and said, I have this company, Mario Badescu. My father looked into it. Again, it was a very small company. My father had no idea about skincare. He was doing jewelry at the time. He had jewelry stores in downtown Brooklyn, and he had no idea about it. And he asked around, and he saw there was potential, and he bought it over as an investment. So, like around 1984 to 1996, he really would go there once a week. There was a manager running it, and that was it. It was this little small salon, that was making a little bit of money, but not that much. Um, and the manager in 96 no longer was running the place. And, that's when, me and my brother and my father said, okay, let's, see what's going on there. And we saw the potential. We saw how many celebrities go there. We saw the clientele, and we expanded the salon in 97 to this 36 room salon.
Geez, I don't know
Um,
what I was expecting, but that's not
yeah,
it.
and we're still there today. Of course, he wasn't making the products upstairs in his kitchen at the time, and we weren't. We were actually making it in the basement, in where the salon is now. We were making the products in the basement, and we weren't selling any retailers. We were just, doing around 150 facials a day, 150 customers, walk-ins, and we were just selling the products out of the place. No retailers. In '98, a retailer approached us, Henry Bendel's. I don't know if you
Oh
ever
yeah.
heard of Henry Bendel's. They're not around anymore, but they were like the trendsetter, retailer. Like if
I
you were
still
in
have
that retailer, I'm sure. So if you were in that retailer, had the brown and white, boxes and bags at the time. So if, that was our next big step. Um, it was actually the buyer that was that was approach us was actually a customer of ours that used to come in religiously for facials. And we went into the store, and that was the store. Like if you were in it, you were known. Other retailers would see you. We were making the products in the basement. It was like my baby, that retailer. It was, I used to. I'm not embarrassed to say we would make the products in the basement. I would pack it up, put it in my car, stock the shelves, work the counter, and that's what I would do. And I believe Mac and us were there at the time, and that's where both of us started. Um, and then a year later, we had one of our biggest friends and clientele, Martha Stewart, approach us. She wanted to do Martha by mail. This was before the internet boom. Martha's been coming to us since the '70s. Her mom brought her in when she was in her early modeling career. I don't know if people know she was
that before she blew up as the
right.
brand.
So
Wait, that's
she was.
you guys get credit for it. She's on the cover of Sports Illustrated
I
right
know,
now.
I
It
know,
just came out. You guys get skin credit for that.
I
She
know. I
people
saw
are
that.
in awe over how she looks.
And she definitely said in her thing, she's been coming religiously once a month to Mario Badescu for 40 years, and that's true. Um, you know, I like to say her mother brought her in. Um, and so back to 1999, we did this Martha by mail with her before the internet boom. And again, we thought, okay, Martha by mail, making the products in the basement. Yeah, we could handle it. And she gave us this huge order. We're like, there's no way we could make this in the basement, but we did. I could remember on Sundays with my mom, we were packing it up. She wanted every single product bubble wrap, and it was a lot to do. And we
Wow.
got it, and we got it out, and we sold out. And that's where we grew. Nordstrom came to us, and then all our retailers, like Ulta came to us. I remember Ulta had 70 stores at the time. They came to us. I didn't even know who Ulta was. And they came to us, and now I believe they had 1,300 stores, and they're in Target. And it was just a crazy journey. But like we really started from scratch. It's been in the family for close to 40 years now. And we're involved, and it's a family business of three generations. And I want to loop Martha Stewart back in, because we're in people's medicine cabinets for generation. You could say her mom brought her in, and then she brought her daughter Alexis in, and Alexis, you know her daughter is using it. Martha posted it a couple of months ago. Of her daughter had her friends over by Martha's house for a night, and they were all holding Mario Badescu, and like she posted it. So that's four generations there. And people know us. I run into people in the street that are like 60 years of age, and they're like, "Oh my God, I've been coming to Mario Badescu, and I've been using the drying lotion, and you don't understand what the drying lotion did to me when I was a teenager. And
My
like, this is
gateway one too. That was my gateway one. The drying
right,
lotion and the rose spray water were the two.
right. So like, you hear that and like, you're very proud of it that, people are backing you and standing by you for 30, 40 years. And, all these people, I have to say, a person like Martha or any celebrity or any influencer or any editor or any podcast really have always had our back and always, backed us and always talked about us and always loved us. And, they know out my family and they've met my family. And, we have a great connection with them and it's like a bond. And, we're not, yes, we have great products and Mary over this who came up with great products, but it's, I owe half of it to, the influencer world and the celebrity world out there for, always talking about us and always giving us love. And that's where we are today. And that's why we're so big today. I can't take, full credit. We're in 72 countries and we're all over the United States, but it's the credit to everyone really showing us so much love over the past 50 years. So I gave you a little brief and a very fast history about the brand. I don't know if I did enough, but you could ask me as many questions
It
as you
honestly
want.
sounds like a children's book. Like there's so much going on. There's so much family layer that like I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't that. That's awesome.
My father is still here working and he's here every day. He's 80, almost 85 years old. God bless him. He's here and involved in every step of the business. He's like, we don't make the products in the basement anymore. I have to tell everyone.
You could if you wanted to.
We make them behind the walls where I'm sitting right here, and we're involved in every single process of every single product that is made here.
I mean, there's no doubt just from the story that you said that you guys do business well, and I don't mean numbers. I mean, you guys are certainly very likable. It's not an extremely undersaturated market. It's not. I am a skincare a hoarder. I have tried way too much. I don't want to know how much money I've spent over the years. That would make me very depressed. But it's something where if I wanted to move on to another brand, I could. That's the world we're in. But you guys have not only withstood the test of time as being like a contender in the skincare world, you guys are pretty much a titan. So other than, you guys are clearly great to work with, very likable group. What do you think it is about the skincare itself that makes all these people reach out to the department stores, the influencers? What is it that makes you guys just, you've been here for so long, so successfully?
So I gotta say, we're a prestige brand, but with very affordable pricing. And not many prestige brands have that affordable pricing. We're in business. Like a lot of brands are coming out now. There's brands coming out weekly, 2 brands a week. We've been around for over 50 years. We have some hero products that have been in the line that Mario Badescu created, 30, 40 years ago. You could take like a collagen moisturizer, Revitallin eye cream, Revitallin day cream, all these names that are hot now. Mario Badescu had this vision 40 years ago, and these are things that have been in our line for 40 years. But everyone's saying, oh, you got to use Revitallin, you got to use collagen, it's the best. But hey, hello, we've been here, we had these products in the line. So, it really, I think the fact that we're in business so long and our prices are right, it really, especially in this time, and I think so many customers are confused of like what to buy, who to buy. Should I buy it because this one said it and this one got paid millions of dollars to talk about it? I think we stay true to, we're loved, and they know the people that talk about us are not being paid. They're just doing out of love, and that they truly like the product.
It sounds like he did get it right very early. So there wasn't much need for you. You guys are right. Some of the emails I get of other companies are just knew this, knew that. It replaced, updated, completely changed. That's you guys kind of nailed it
We
years
try to
ago.
stay true. We really try to stay true to what Mario Badescu created.
That's wonderful. If you get it right the first time, I guess is what it is. Why screw with it?
Sure.
So
Yes.
what kind of role have you guys? I mean, yeah, you're New York and you're huge, but you also sound like a very intimate brand now after this. What role have you guys played in maybe supporting local businesses or different communities in the city?
Um, so, you could take, like, I would say, hospitals or women's shelters or anything like that. We never tell anybody no. Whatever they whatever they want. If you have 300 people in the women's shelter, you have 500 nurses or whatever it is, no problem. We'll give you gift bags, packages. We really never tell anybody no. We love to give. We love for people to also try the products and to fall in love with the products. So we really never try to say no to people. There's no red tape here. It's just like, the girls will call me and say, "Oh, we have this opportunity. Do you want to give to this hospital that's down the block from us?" No problem. Like, it's not like things have to go through red tape and let me see. I got to ask the VP. No, it's just like, Joe, could we hook them up? And we're always in.
That's wonderful and rare. I
Maybe.
feel it. I think it is. That's so lovely, though. It's you guys are just ticking off a whole crap ton of boxes and being the good for
Try
community
to.
and
We
for
really
skin.
try to do the right thing.
So, do you have uh plans that you could tell us about maybe expanding your presence even more in the city? Are there any like collaborations or working with any local businesses?
Um, I mean, we're always into doing collaborations with local businesses. We really don't like, if there's a collab. Yes, we'll, of course. I know Steph, head of PR, has done things with, like, smaller places. I'm not. I can't give you names off the top of my head, but we definitely do like a collab, and these are businesses that are definitely much smaller, but we do it definitely to give them publicity. And we were that small mom and pop business, back then. So, we've definitely done small with juice places, or I forgot what different accessories and
Yeah, you don't. It doesn't sound like
mirror.
you have a lot on your plate. You should know all of
Right.
this. Me.
I wish I do, but Steph definitely knows more.
You listen. It's a dividing and conquering kind of thing. So
Yeah.
totally get it. When it does come to skincare, though, there are so many different specific needs. What kind of skin you have, what kind of skin you have on what kind of day and what season. And I feel like, especially in the city where we're dealing with, I mean, we're a beauty epicenter. I feel like we have an above average amount of makeup, and there's no question our pollutants are super high. So how do you guys kind of approach the really diverse range of skincare needs in a place like New York?
That has been our specialty for since I've been in the business. I've been in here for
Awesome.
25 years. I remember, as far back as over 20 years ago, we used to put out ad out in these InStyle and Vogues of, fill out this form, and we would ask, I think, 20 questions. What kind of skin you have? Dry, oily, sensitive skin? Do you have breakouts? And we would ask those questions because we have over 200 products in our range, and each product is for a different skin type. And we would send them free samples. I remember we would send hundreds of packages of free samples with a regimen of their skin type. If it's dry, if we figure it out, and we would look it out. Okay, this person has dry skin. This person has oily skin, and we would give them a certain regimen for their skin. So we have such a variety of like we'll have 15 different toners, 15 different cleansers, and these are things that have been out in our line for 40 years. That when Mario Badescu created this line, he had products for every single skin type. If your face was sensitive or dry or oily, because he actually worked on people's skin. Like we are giving 150 facials a day. You could do the math times. We're open probably 300 days a year. You could do the math. We're touching people's skin. I cannot say that there are many skincare companies out there that actually do that many facials or work on people's skin. So we've been touching people's skin for over 50 years, and we know skin. You know, we know skin pretty well.
I feel like I've definitely heard people surprised that you guys are even that oh, they do facials. Like so many people just know you as like, oh, I know, I've seen them in Saks, I've seen them at Urban Outfitters. Oh, they also do facials. Yeah, that's kind of where it all
It all started.
And it's still there, which is incredible. How about the pandemic? Do you see that has had a huge impact on the industry, whether it be, products or facials for people?
So the pandemic was definitely hard for us. People definitely had a lot of free time. A lot of, influencers got big, people talking about products, people knocking products that they have no idea about. Definitely hurt brands. And then brands got big from the pandemic. But right now, I believe that since our price point is so good and so affordable, because there are skincare brands out there that are ridiculously priced. I don't like it. I don't think it's fair to the consumer. It's similar or almost the same ingredients that we're putting it in. They're probably buying it from the same supplier, and what it's costing us and them probably the same amount of money to make. And how am I selling something for $7 or $18 or $12? I'm just making less money and not spending a ton of money on marketing. And I'm just we're concerned more about the customer, and I don't need to go spend millions and millions of dollars on marketing. So I keep my price low, and people really need it today. With the economy, what's going on, people need good, affordable skincare, and not to be ripped off from a $100 cream that our cream is probably the same or does the same thing or maybe better.
Yeah. But yeah, you guys are definitely a rarity, not just in beauty, but that's like, God bless America. We've got so many of those. Like the dollar store sunglasses most of them come from the same manufacturer that
What do
sells
they say? It's what's
the
that called?
ones. Is
Luxola.
that the name of it?
I think it's Luxola, and they make all the brands. So like,
Yep. Skincare is not immune to that same kind of bull crap.
it's a very tricky world out there.
Well, thank you for being a shining beacon. And I'm not going to curse on this, but not a different kind of person.
We're not, like I said, we're not this big corporate giant where, we need to get these 20, $30 million salaries for the VP. And, we gotta sell these high price ticket items to, pay everybody and pay influencers and celebrities to talk. And, we don't have to do that, so.
Product speaks for itself without doubt. And where have you noticed the biggest change in the brand's approach to skincare over the years?
The biggest meaning?
Like you guys have so much consistency, but is there something that you've noticed like, oh, there's been a change over the last like decade in our approach to skincare? Is the way we live our lives over the generations changing anything for you guys, or has it just?
I think, there's a lot of confusion out there. I think clean beauty really confused everybody. There's a lot of confusion. There's so many people that are not a chemist, are not a dermatologist, that are, talking on TikTok and Instagram, and they talk like they're doctors, and definitely confusing the world about products and what you should buy and what's not good and what's good, and with not much research and not much behind it, and it's just like really confusing the customer so much. And when people ask me, I'm like, we've had the same products for 50 years. No one got harmed. Everything was fine. Of course, there are things that the FDA will say is not good to put in your products. Of course, we would take it out, but there's a lot of confusion in the market of what's going on.
Yeah, that makes sense. The creation of the internet started one wave, I feel like, of that. And now the
Yeah,
world of social influencing as everyone's a doctor of the
right.
topic.
Or you look at, I keep on bringing up her name, but she looks fabulous. She's 81. She's on her skin looks great. She's been using our same products for 40 years, and she's healthy. She's fine. Her skin looks great, and there's no problems. So goes to show, you know, all these people right out there of confusing people.
Really, if it's not broke, don't fix it is a phrase, but it can apply here.
Right.
If it was working, what's so different? Sure, companies will try and come out with really hot new, branding or items they think you're going to need because of blank, blank, blank. But it's like my dermatologist once told me, don't worry about anything over, I think it was SPF 50. He goes, you'll be buying
Right.
SPF
Yeah.
100, but it's not protecting you any more than the 50 does. That's the max amount of protection. So go ahead, spend your
Right.
money.
Right. I thought it was 30.
Maybe
I
it's
heard.
30. I don't,
Right.
I'm just maxing out at 50. That's all I know.
Right. Right. Right.
So what about ahead of you guys? What do you think the future holds for the brand?
We definitely we love to do we do baby steps here. We've always done things slow. It definitely took us 25 years since I've been here to get here. So our next step is, I don't know, we're pretty big. I would love to open up more salons and really treat faces more around the US. The rest of the world is definitely big, and would love to expand more and let people know us more.
That sounds like a good plan. More people need that information. And what about, let's say, gateway products? Let's say there's someone listening who has no sense of skincare beyond the water in the face and bar of soap. It's an intimidating place to start looking into things. Do you have a product that you're like, hey, if you're just starting out, give this a shot?
I think a soap, a cleanser and moisturize. Cleaning your face and moisturizing the heck out of your face is a huge thing. I mean, I don't know if my skin looks good, but I'm in my mid-40s, and I've been using the product since I'm a teenager, and I moisturize the hell out of my face. Like I can't get enough, and I think your skin needs to be hydrated. And sometimes I see people walking around, or friends of mine, and that we're gonna probably hate me if they listen to this. And I'm like, maybe your face is a little dry, and you should, put a little moisturizer on, or like I see people, and like I feel bad, like, because if they're in their 40s and their skin looks like this now, in the 50s they're going to look even worse because it's really so dry. Like,
It's
it's like
hard to
leather.
reverse. You got to care for it throughout.
Right. Like leather, leather dries up after a while. You got to really keep in like oiling it, and so there's no difference than your skin, even your body. Like you gotta just lather it.
Yep. My mother-in-law teases me because now my husband likes getting facials, and she goes, "What did you do to him?" I'm like, "He's had skin his whole life.
Your
He's found
skin looks pretty. Your skin
taking
looks
care of
pretty. Your skin looks pretty good and pretty. It looks
Hydrate.
good, hydrated.
It's a very, very intense commitment to skin. But this really, I mean, other than looking up the brand, is there any, where are you guys located if someone's interested in a facial?
We are located at 320 East 52nd Street between First and Second. We are probably the lowest price facial in New York City. I know the rich, what is it? My Rich BFF?
Rich BFF? Oh boy.
My Rich BFF. Yeah, she was like, we couldn't stop. We were packed because she was saying how our facials are so cheap. They're $65.
Oh,
They're
that's
probably the biggest bargain in New York City, where we just really give a clean facial. And of course, we want them to walk out with buying our products. Our thing is why we're so low prices. We want them to rebuy and rebuy for the rest of their life. We don't want a customer to feel like, oh, I don't know, should I buy $100 cream? You're hesitant about it. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't.
And you don't do it again because it was such a
Right.
splurge.
So we want our customer really to keep and rebuying. That's our thing. We want someone to come in for a facial, feel good, buy a couple of products on their way out, and hopefully stick with us for the rest of their life. We don't want that one-time customer. We try to keep that customer for a lifetime.
And you guys are definitely doing everything in your power to make that attainable for us.
Yeah.
So thank
Yes.
you. Joseph, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for the insight on the company, and I'm very excited to continue to hear wonderful things about Mario Badescu.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure speaking with you.
Nice to meet you.